If you're still working full-time after 60 and work is still the centre of your life, I think you need to question that. Not because work is bad, not because you should quit tomorrow, but because something subtle happens after 60. Time changes. And if your priorities don't change with it, you can wake up at 70 wondering where the last decade went. This isn't an anti-work video, it's a reality check. Because after 60, work should no longer be the main character in your life. In this video, I'm going to share 6 hard truths about working after 60 and why the order of your life may need to change. 1. Time is more valuable than money. In your 20s, deciding on a career matters. This is the time to put your flag in the ground and get good at something. In your 30s, career progression matters. You planted your flag, now you climb and take on responsibility. In your 40s, money matters most. You've probably got as far as you're going to go. You've got a wife, kids, house, mortgage, car payments, debts. And in your 50s, security matters. The kids have flown the nest. You've been at the top of your game for a decade. Thoughts start drifting to how to get off the hamster wheel. But you're secure, or are you? And anything other than what you've done is a scary thought, isn't it? But after 60, time wins every time. You are no longer building a future 30 years ahead. You are managing a decade or two of good energy before the inevitable decline, which, if you are lucky, won't come until you're in your 80s. But what if it comes in your 70s? Oh, God forbid. Your 60s. Here's the brutal truth. If you are still optimizing income at the expense of time, you're playing yesterday's game. In your 30s, you can waste time and recover. After 60, you can't. 2. Work should be a choice, not a default. There is nothing wrong with working after 60. I still do. But if I want to go on a world cruise for 90 days and not work, I can. Work for me is now this YouTube channel and helping some of you more directly through mentoring and life audits. Call it not retired if you want, call it semi-retirement, but I know I'm retired because it's nothing like the full-time career of my 20s, 30s and 40s. It is not the main event, it's just a sideshow. And I love it. I have finally got a hobby that is also a work. It's as far removed from the rat race or a hamster wheel as you can get, while still being purposeful, useful and changing lives. Work after 60 should be optional. If you don't want to work, don't. It's perfectly okay to retire completely and never, ever work again. That is the traditional way of retirement, isn't it? And it works for many people, just not for me. Work is my way of keeping my brain sharp and pushing myself to learn new things. If you're still working because you don't know what else to do, that's not choice, that's habit. 3. You can start a side hustle. Let's be clear, I understand if you genuinely need the income and you can't stop working, but then your focus shouldn't be carry on forever. Your focus should be as simple as this. How do I fix this urgently? Because working out of necessity at 63 is very different from working out of passion at 63. One is choice, one is pressure. Are you waiting for your pension at 67 and ticking away the days? Well, there are ways you can accelerate when you can quit work to years and years before your pension date. You can start a side gig to generate some additional income. Why not turn a hobby into an income? This YouTube channel is a perfect example of that. It makes a healthy 5-figure side income to supplement my investments and pensions. There are plenty of silver creators earning annual 5-figure sums on YouTube to supplement their main income. If starting a YouTube channel doesn't appeal to you, then what about a simple side gig like buying and selling stuff? Buy at car boot sales and charity shops and sell on eBay. I'll give you an example. Books. There are always books at car boot sales for about 50p. And you can sell them on eBay for 10 times that. All you've got to do is just bundle them together, for example, a collection of cookbooks or a collection of your favourite crime authors. Another option is to make something and sell it at car boot sales. I met a very resourceful retiree who was in his 60s. He was turning skip finds of furniture into chopping boards. The furniture was free, he found it in skips, but the boards were selling at £20 to £30 each, and he was selling out. I've seen people selling their homemade baked goods or plants that they've grown in their greenhouse from a small stall at these car boot sales. The fact of the matter is, there are many opportunities if you look for them. This isn't quit your job, it's reduce dependence before you remove full-time employment. Before we move on, here is a quick word from today's sponsor, which is actually me. If you're in your 50s or 60s and you're still working full-time because you fear losing the income, not because you want to, I've opened a limited number of Freedom Income Roadmap sessions in March. It's private, 90 minutes, one-on-one with me, where we work out a clear plan for working less without losing income. Now, usually this is through consulting or leveraging something online like I do with this YouTube channel, but it has to fit your experience and lifestyle. If you're curious, take a look at my webpage. It explains exactly how it works. It's on screen now, and there's also a link in the description below. Right, back to the video. 4. Your identity must expand. If someone asks who you are at 62 and the answer still includes your job title, that's fragile. I'm no longer Nick the recruiter like I was in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s. I'm not just Nick the YouTuber. I'm Nick the coach, mentor, baker, cook, walker, cartoonist, father, husband. Work is not your identity. Retirement doesn't erase your identity. It reveals that you don't have a single identity. You have many, and you always have. What's yours? Traveller? Grandparent? Writer? Volunteer? Athlete? Friend? Musician? And not forgetting, YouTuber. After 60, your life should widen, not narrow. Leave that narrow-mindedness to the younger generations. They haven't got your wisdom. You should know better. Don't be scared to let your work identity go. There are a whole load of new identities waiting for you to pivot into. Be brave. Do it. Because if your job is your identity, when you do eventually retire, it will feel like being erased. 5. Health compounds faster than wealth. This one is brutal but true. After 60, physical decline compounds faster than salary growth. You can earn another £10,000, but you cannot earn back mobility. You cannot earn back energy. You cannot earn back missed summers. Your 60s are often the last truly healthy decade you will ever get unless you are very, very lucky. Even then, if you are one of those who makes it to 95, like my Uncle Archie, where do you think all your lifelong friends will be? Even your partner. His wife died when he was 82 and she was ill for 5 years. Do the maths. Archie's life, as he enjoyed it, ended when he was 77. Not because he died, but because he couldn't go out with his wife to the pub anymore, or on a nice long walk in the countryside with their dog. He became a carer, and at 82, widowed and lonely. Don't trade your time and good health for incremental pay rises. You might be able to double your investments in 10 years, but your physical capacity, it can halve in 5 years. 6. Work should play second fiddle. After 60, work should be supporting your life, not dominating it. If you choose to work after 60, it should be about providing some extra funds to give you these sort of things: freedom, experiences, health, good relationships, and curiosity. If work still dictates when you travel, when you rest, when you see your family, it's too central to your life. You just need to ensure work is no longer the main event. If you do work, make it part-time, make it flexible, meaningful. Do it on your terms. Perhaps even go self-employed. If you wake up at 6 a.m. because you have to, let me tell you, that's not freedom. That's being trapped. After 60, work can still exist, but it must stop being the main character in your show. I'm not anti-work. I still work, but not like I did for the first 25 years of my adult life. As I said earlier, I retired at 44 from the career I chose in my 20s, and I shifted to a much more flexible working arrangement. Call it semi-retirement if you want. That was my choice, and that's my point. After 60, work should be a choice, not a necessity. I've watched enough people reach 65, still clinging to their careers out of fear, habit, or identity, and then one day the option disappears completely. Health issues kick in, or the decision is taken out of their hands by redundancy or the march of technology. After 60, the goal is not more achievement, it's not more responsibility, and it's certainly not buying more stuff. It's more time for experiences, more time with family, more time for hobbies, more time for living. After 60, the question isn't, can I keep working? The question is, should work still be running my life? What are your thoughts? Why are you still working? Share your story in the comments. I would love to know. And if this video resonated with you, you might want to watch this one next. It's about 5 things that make no sense after 60. Thanks for watching. See you next time.